Hello everyone, welcome back. We are live here today at the Tennant Institute. I'm Emmy Grimes. I'm an educator and advisor at Senergy Medical Group. We have the amazing Dr. Chase Faldmo here today. I'm so thrilled for you guys. He's going to be talking more about toxins in the body, his passion for toxicology, and his story about what brought him here today. I'm really thrilled for you. Before we do that, a couple housekeeping things I want to notate. We are recording this, so if technology fails you, do not worry. We are going to be sending out an email with the link of this video for you to review it later on this weekend. And then additionally, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. We love hearing from you, and we encourage you to do that because we're going to be answering a few questions on this live stream today. So be sure to put those in there. We look forward to seeing those. Again, reminder, do not put anything related to medical questions because we won't be able to answer those types of questions. Guys, it's Friday. I'm so glad the weekend's here. I hope you've got some great plans aligned. I know we still are kind of shelter in place, but please, remember to smile and make memories. I know it's kind of an uncertain time, but we want you to be, feeling good and living your best life, as we all say it. Also, fun fact, Dr. Faldmo and I went to the same high school, so any Pierce fans out there, go Mustangs! All right, well, we have Dr. Chase Faldmo here today. I'm going to stop talking so you don't have to hear me anymore. Again, please put your listening caps on for Dr. Chase Faldmo.
Thank you. So I've had several requests to tell my story. So why I'm here. So this goes way back. I started when I was 16 years old. I was very healthy athlete. I did sports, as healthy as can be. Nothing wrong. Unfortunately, I had a hernia surgery. After my hernia surgery, what happened was they gave me painkillers, anti-inflammatories, and that ended up burning large ulcers in my stomach. So to try to correct that, of course, they gave me other medications, and to make a long story short, things started going downhill fast. Organs started having a lot of difficulty. I lost 50 pounds, and so we had went to doctors everywhere. Some of the best doctors on paper, different states, specialists. I had done every test possible, you name it. So we were at the end, and so we were here in Texas, and we had heard about a doctor named Dr. Jerry Tennant. It's a familiar name for all of us. So when I went to Dr. Tennant a couple of days actually before I saw him, my heart rate was only 36 beats a minute, which is next to nothing compared to the standards. And then the day I saw him, my blood pressure was 80/40. It was a miracle I was even alive. I could walk in the office. So I saw Dr. Tennant, and I started the protocol, and I noticed the protocol. I did it faithfully, and I started noticing a difference within 2 weeks. Wow. Then after a year, I was completely better after being sick and being almost to the end. For 2 years I was sick. And so I'm so grateful that I was able to get better. It's changed my life forever. Now I'm healthier than before I got sick. So.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. What is one of the most, maybe there's multiple things, or one thing that, most people overlook when it comes to toxins?
Good question. So, toxins, when we talk about toxins, there's several categories we talk about. There's microbial toxins, which are viruses, bacteria. There's heavy metal toxins. There's chemical toxins. There's airborne toxins. So, a lot of people, I notice is a lot of practitioners are trying to address toxins by throwing a fish net at something. So if I'm fishing and I want to go catch a shark, if I just throw a net in hopes of catching it, I might get lucky, but I may not. So that's what a lot of the detox programs are nowadays, is a lot of people are just throwing fish nets on something. Hopefully they'll catch the specific toxin that's affecting them. Well, it can work out for some, but not always. So what I like about what we look at is we look at the body from a physics perspective, and we're able to look and find specific toxins that are affecting each individual. Once you eliminate those toxins in the physics way, which is the better way to do it, you're able to get results.
That is really cool. Well, and that's good to know. When someone comes to the clinic, here at the Tennant Institute, what does an appointment look like? And I think it would also be helpful, like, what does a telemedicine appointment look like? So talk about that for us.
Good question. So, with our appointments, we always get a good history. So when you're in person, whether it's in person or telemedicine, you get a good history from the patient, good idea where they come from, what specific conditions they have. Once we're able to find that and do some testing, one of the tests we do here in the Institute is something called an oligoscan. Okay? Oligoscan is a very amazing device. It's able to test for different heavy metals and minerals through skin analysis. Very accurate. So we're able to test that here in office, get a history. Once we've gathered a good history from a patient, I know I can pinpoint specific toxins that you see in different conditions. So I will test the patient for various toxicities. Once I figure out which toxins are affecting them, I use a new form of energy called scalar energy, which is very advanced, and we drive in antidote frequencies into the system to help detox these toxins out of the body.
That's fantastic.
So we're able to do that in an in-person appointment. Now, in regards to telemedicine, we found a way that's just as efficient, which is great. So once I gather a history from a patient, I'm still able to do tests and figure out which toxins are affecting them. Once I figure out the toxins that are affecting them, we've been able to digitize the antidote frequencies in a bottle that you can send to a patient to take orally, so that they can address the toxicity from home.
That's amazing. No wonder we're having all the great reviews. That's awesome. So is there anything else that you could maybe talk to our audience about that really is something that they could even, learn about toxins and help them even at home?
Absolutely. So we'll talk about learning about toxins a little bit. Again, we know that toxins actually work at a biophysics perspective.
Yeah.
So what I can tell you about that is, let's take viruses and bacteria, for example. Okay, there was a scientist back in the day named Royal Rife. Okay, he actually found that at certain frequencies, viruses and bacteria can die off in the body. Okay, more research has come out too, showing that when they studied E. coli bacteria and actually found that they communicate via AM/FM radio waves. So pretty amazing.
Wow.
These microbial toxins are using physics against us, but we can use physics against them. Another thing we've been finding is that there's these things called biofilms that viruses and bacteria surround themselves with. Okay, I'm going to make a little illusion here for all you Harry Potter fans out there. It's the closest analogy I can get. In Harry Potter, there's this thing called the invisibility cloak, where someone can cover themselves and no one else can see. So viruses and bacteria have that same capability with biofilms, where they surround themselves with this protective shield, and your immune system can pass by it and they miss it because they can't see it. So, a lot of these microbial toxins are working at the physics level. Okay? And it's the same thing with metal toxins. They're metal or chemical toxins or airborne toxins. They're actually acting like magnets to your body. So when you get rid of them using antidote frequencies, you're able to demagnetize them for the chemical, metal, or airborne toxins. In the case of viral, bacterial toxins, it could kill them off. It could jam their communication signaling, weakening them, so the body's immune system can go in and take care of the rest. Or it could bust those biofilms or those shields that protect themselves, weakening them so the body's immune system can go and take care of the rest. So that's what's amazing about toxins, is that when you address them from a biophysics perspective, you get phenomenal results. So that's why our system works so well. Now, stuff you can do at home to help with toxicity. Well, there's several things. Obviously, we live in a toxic world. You're not going to be able to avoid all toxins. You just got to do your best, okay? One of my favorite products is raw materials. Raw materials contains both humic and fulvic acid. we've talked about before, fulvic is one of those things that can be either plus or minus, meaning it can be a daily maintenance for a detox to help avoid absorbing some of these toxins and to help get them out of your system whenever you get exposed to them. So I love taking raw materials every day. It's been a phenomenal product. Second is, I think one of the things that people should know is that you shouldn't fear these toxins. When you start to fear these toxins, you're going to have susceptibility to them.
Yeah.
So one of the most powerful things to do each day is something called an autonomic reset, where you use the biomodulator, stimulate different parts of the neck, and what it does is it helps put you in rest and digest mode. When you're not in rest and digest mode and you're in sympathetic on mode, you have increased cortisol, you have a compromised immune system, you're not going to be as healthy as you want to be.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about doing an autonomic reset each day.
Take you out of fight or flight mode.
Yep, exactly. So the other thing that when you do an autonomic reset, the biomodulator, the other thing that does is it turns on something called your craniosacral pump. Okay? Your craniosacral pump is kind of like a lymphatic system, but for your brain and spinal cord. It flushes toxins out and flushes nutrients in. So you want that running so that you avoid absorbing more toxicities. That's what's so powerful about using the biomodulator with the autonomic reset. Another thing is, again, avoid toxins to your best ability. One of the most powerful ways that when you're out and about is to learn to nose breathe. So one of our telemedicine appointments options that you have is that you can get an online Zoom call with me and I can figure out why your body's not nose breathing. Okay? Your nose has multiple filters and it can help prevent you from absorbing more toxicities. On the same lines as that is that there are certain things you can put in place in your home, especially as a protective mechanism from avoiding toxins. So one of my favorite, the best air filter I've seen is the Odorox air filter.
Mm-hmm.
Great system for making sure you don't get as many airborne toxins in your home or even workplace. And then water is huge. The water nowadays is so toxic, full of chemicals, pharmaceuticals they're finding now and there. So I love the pH prescription water filters. Best filters I've seen.
Yes.
So there's some stuff and some tools you can use at home. And I think the main thing I want people to know is, we live in a toxic world, but there's hope.
Absolutely. I think that's such a good point. I mean, don't be fearful, because I think, it's right now, all the uncertainty, it really is so beneficial, balancing your autonomic nervous system, but putting your mind in that state of positivity so that you're not, creating those walls in your body. So really good points. Is there anything else that you want to tell our audience at home, and if not, we can look over and see if we've got any questions we can answer too?
Well, yeah, nothing right now. I'd love to answer whatever questions I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's good. Well, before we do that, I wanted just to notate that, as Dr. Faldmo talked about, we do have, appointments available here in person at the Tennant Institute. So, if you do want to make an appointment, you can still come in person. I know there's kind of uncertainty with shelter in place and travel. We do offer telemedicine as well, as he mentioned, and we've gotten some great reviews on doing that alone, and I can see why. So I'm really excited for you guys. You can call the Tennant Institute to make those appointments at 972-580-1156, or visit the website at www.tenantinstitute.com. Additionally, we are still beefing up for our Tennant Integrative Health Conference this August. We've had another amazing, great week. We had a lot more people sign on to join us. Please, if you haven't already, call Senergy Medical Group to sign up. Not only will you hear from the amazing group of doctors here at the Tennant Institute, but you learn those Tennant protocols as well as the revolutionary ways to keep you healthy. So call Senergy at 972-580-0545. You can also text that number if it's easier, and you can visit our website at www.senergy.us. So let's check out our Facebook and see if anyone out there is asking questions. Where do you place, this is a good one, Andrew Dixon. Hi Andrew. Where do you place the large tissue electrode on the side of the neck? Good question.
Great question. So there's an attachment to the biomodulator called the large tissue electrode. It's kind of a stick with two prongs that we can have someone show us an example of.
I do have one actually, right here in this bag.
We'll have Emmy show.
Yeah, it kind of looks like marbles on the end of it.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
So it's something that you can attach to the biomodulator. Okay. So here we got an example right here of what it looks like.
Yes, perfect.
Plugs into the biomodulator, so this is the large tissue electrode. So if I was to treat myself, what I would be doing is I'd plug it into the biomodulator, turn it on, and I would put it in 10-8 mode. Okay. When it's in 10-8 mode, I like to go behind the neck here, on the back of the neck, just right at about the hairline where the head meets the neck. And I turn it up, I turn the biomodulator on, and I hit the plus button until I barely feel it. You just want to barely feel it. That's the optimal level. Once it's at that level, you could hold it on there for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? There is another option available for those who don't have the large tissue electrode, is that you can take the biomodulator by itself, put it on the side of the neck, and put it in infinity mode.
Right.
For one side each minute.
Yep. Yep. Great. Okay, let's see what else we've got out here. Oh, here's the biomodulator. You can showcase that. So, this is from Tarza Martinez. Is it individualized as when the patient can begin to use the foot bath detox with equipment?
Okay, good question.
That's an interesting one, yeah.
So when we're talking about a foot bath detox, so what that is that there was a way that we used to do detoxing that still works, but we found in our recent things these methods we're using are more efficient, but it still works great for home use, is that you can take one of those paint divider type containers where you can have the feet separate in separate water, and you fill up that water and add things such as raw materials drops or iodine and a little salt, and you can take cords from the biomodulator and make sure they're cords that can get wet though, so verify with Senergy if you have the right cords. But you take the cords from the biomodulator and you put one on each side of the foot bath, and then you turn on the biomodulator, put it in, either works in 10-8 or infinity mode, turn it up till you barely feel it. 10-8 mode's better. And what that does is that uses what's called electrophoresis. So when you do that, you're using the biomodulator to drive in the raw materials into your body. When you drive in that raw materials into your body, it's a great way to detox from home. So it may not be as specific as like what we're using here at the Institute, but it's good at home to do.
Okay, good. Well, that's great information. And yeah, I encourage you guys still to come here because there's a lot of unknown with doing it at home. So I encourage you to make sure that you're making those appointments, coming to see Dr. Faldmo to get those protocols done here at the clinic. Also, we do additional protocols at the Integrative Health Conference, so that's another great way you're going to gain that information. I think that's all that we have here. Let me see if I've got any additional ones that we can look at. What protocol do you, this is from Nadia, what protocol do you have for the cranial nerve examination, what was talked about in the recent email?
Okay, good question. So when I mentioned earlier that we have appointments here at the Institute that help teach your body to nose breathe. Nose breathing is one of the most powerful things. Nose breathing, again, is the best filter for toxins. Also, when you nose breathe, actually you get more oxygen in your system. You get more oxygen, you get more healing. So people will try to consciously nose breathe. What we can do at the Institute is we can do that examination that was mentioned, and I can see how your body responds to different stimulus. Based on those, it tells me where your body's deficient and why you're not nose breathing, and especially at nighttime. When any people who snore, it's a classic sign that they're not nose breathing. So each individual, each patient's different, so the protocol for each patient is different based on the exam we do. Based on the exam, we can give you exercises specific for you, so that's what that could do.